Okay, so of course you gotta poop right there. I'm gonna show you a couple exercises I do on the trail for stifles. One is serpentina, just back and forth. So left rein, left leg, right rein, right leg, and I make them go down slow. And you're trying to get them to engage their back end and use all those muscles around their stifles. Kind of think of it, you know, well, you probably don't do it now, but when you're a young kid, it was much easier to run down the hill fast and just kind of flail down the hill. But it's much harder to walk down the hill slow and control yourself and control your muscles. So you serpentine back and forth, which is kind of like how a snake moves, or kind of like an S pattern, but you got to make it small enough to fit on the trail. So of course, no, you cannot do this on a single track, but you can do it on a small fire trail or fire trail. So just weave back and forth, making sure they go slow, that they're not pacing, they're not gating, they're just walking. The other thing I do is, you probably can't tell, this is a decline, but it probably doesn't look like much, is just go down the hill very slow, like a quarter horse. Because when they go down fast, it's the same thing. They kind of just flail themselves and they're not using their muscles, or they're getting crooked. You know, they're swinging their hind quarter left or right to make it easier for them. So what you want to do is to go down the hill slow and make them carry themselves straight. Yeah. And of course, if they're out of shape or they have really bad stifles, you can't do really steep hills. You'll have to start with, you know, slow inclines and declines. All right, but slow and steady, you'll build it up, and then their back end won't lock up as much. It does not take a day to fix this. Think of when you go to the gym and work out, and if you don't, you should. But it's going to take probably 4 to 6 weeks before you notice any difference, because that's how long it takes to build up the muscles. If you only ride them once a week, well, then it could take much, much longer. So when I'm talking about 4 to 6 weeks, that's you riding and working that horse 3 to 5 times a week. Another exercise I do is leg yielding. So I push them off my right leg. My left rein's open, my right rein's right against their neck. Of course, you have to teach them this in the arena or somewhere first before they can do it going downhill. And then I'm going to leg yield them off my left leg. So my right leg is off to open the door, left leg against him, right rein's open, left rein against his neck. If they speed up, slow them back down. If they get confused, just ask them to walk forward. So here we go. So it's a leg yield, not a side pass. So it's with you walking and going sideways. The horse has to be paying attention. Oh boy. So right leg. And then off your left leg. Staying slow and steady, and hopefully you can see that shadow. See him kind of gimp once in a while. This is very interesting because I couldn't see him since I'm riding them, so I wasn't sure if he was off in the front or the back. But it's actually coming from the back, which you probably can't see. It's coming from his stifle. So this is what it looks like on top. Now, 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 now. So it's a jarring sensation, you know, and it feels like he's off, but on the flat and the arena is perfectly fine. So now watch the shadow. Now, 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 now. And it's coming from his right hind stifle, because we had the vet look at him, and I wrote him for her so she could see exactly what I was talking about. So, it's coming from his stifle, so we're just gonna, you know, work him on hills, which we've been doing, rehab him, and then there's something called blistering, and he had that done in the past where they inject an irritant, either sesame oil or iodine, usually around that stifle joint to try to get it to scar down, to help it so it stays in place. So that's an option too. If you do rehab and it's not helping enough, that then you could try the blistering. I usually rehab the horses first and see how it goes, and then if it's not getting better, then of course you can try something more. But the best thing for them, which I think I've said in the other videos, is work. These horses need hills. If they're just on the flat, or they're just turned out, he's looking at the piece of wood, and even if in the pasture they have hills, well, they're not going to engage themselves and collect themselves. And that's what you need to do. Going downhill, go slow, collect them. And, going uphill, keep their head down and make them engage their back end and drive with their back end, not just pull with their front end. So hopefully you can see in that shadow, but I'm keeping his head down and making him drive with his back end. See the back end? It's hard to do this on your head cam. But these horses, at least the walking horses, pull themselves up with their front end and they push with the back end. But we really, to engage those muscles around the stifle, want him to drive with his back end. If his head's up, they're more likely to pull themselves and throw themselves. So you want to make sure they know how to get their head down. You can't just come out and pull their head down if they don't know how to, they don't know the cues or anything to bring their head down. You got to teach them that first, and then you can come out and do it on the trail. Or you can use a running martingale, or if you're on fire trails, you could use draw reins, German martingale. There's lots of things you can use to help you to get the horse's head down, but do it in the arena first. Don't do it on the trail first.